All right, let's get into this. So basically, there is a forced vote that's going to occur. And why this is interesting is that the politicians are getting a little feisty when it comes to how they're going to actually get their constituents, individuals that vote for them, to actually continue to like them. With politics, there's sometimes some issues where people will not like a politician because they're full of BS and they don't actually deliver. And as a result, at some point, they have to repay the piper to get people on board with actually wanting them. So in this video, what it's going to actually answer is what is going on with this particular bill that's going to increase Social Security benefits going forward, and basically why it's being forced to the House floor so that a vote can be completed so that this thing will potentially be pushed through. Now, here's the specific article. Social Security benefits to increase for some Americans, potentially under new bill, published August 26, 2024 by Suzanne Blake. Here's it. Congress is set to vote on a bill that would increase Social Security benefits for some Americans if it's passed. Next month, U.S. House of Representatives Abigail Spanberger, a Virginia Democrat, and Garrett Graves, a Louisiana Republican, will be filing a petition to force a vote on the Social Security Fairness Act, which would eliminate the windfall elimination provision, WEP, and the government pension offset, GPO. The WEP and GPO lower Social Security for millions of Americans, while the bill currently has 325 sponsors, which is unheard of. I mean, that's you never see that. It only needs 218 signatures to force a vote in the House for a floor to take it over and basically potentially push it through. So it's got 325 co-sponsors, only needs 218 signatures. It's wildly popular. I did a video about a year ago on how this was likely to be the first bill to actually pass during Biden's presidency that would be super duper pro SSA benefits, retirement, things like that. But the bottom line is we didn't see it. We didn't see a push. Now we're coming down to the line, the very end of essentially President Biden's presidency. So we're seeing a little bit of a push here, which will, of course, benefit the constituents on the Democratic Party to advertise going into the next presidential election. Quote, for more than 40 years, millions of Americans, police officers, teachers, firefighters, and other local and state public servants have been stripped of their Social Security benefits as an unjust penalty for devoting much of their careers to serving their communities and fellow Americans. These Virginians, Louisianians, or however you pronounce it, and Americans across our country deserve their full retirement benefits, just like every other American who has paid into Social Security, Spanberger and Graves said in a joint statement. Okay. They added, for years, we have worked together to build bipartisan support for this effort and urge House leadership to take real action to right this wrong. And those efforts have stalled. We are using every tool at our disposal to finally get this done. All right. So here's what you need to know, because a lot of you guys don't know what this is. There's two programs, right? Windfall provision basically is one of them, and then, of course, the other one is the GPO. What these two do, the WP and the GPO, is they go ahead and reduce the amount of retirement benefits that a government employee can get because they're getting some other version of a state, county, federal retirement program, right? They paid into some other program, some other thing, and this offsets how much, it reduces how much traditional Social Security retirement they're going to get. So it's a shitty deal for people who work for the government because they don't get the big boost of having both retirement programs available to them in their full strength. As a result of this, as many of you may have noticed, as all of you have noticed, right? The bottom line is, unfortunately, that going forward, the government is doing anything they can to get people to want to go work for the government, because people cannot work for the government if they can't make enough money. And right now, because everything's so expensive, the dollar's devalued, prices are skyrocketing, people are not willing to work for the government. The government has a simple methodology when it comes to hiring people. The government says, we will pay you shit, horrible wages. You will be unhappy. You will be miserable, but golden handcuffs. Down the line, you will have amazing pension-like programs. Incredible. Far better than the private industry can give you. So the deal is you get very little money up front, And then 25, 30, whatever years down the line, depending on what program it is, you get amazing benefits so that you can coast through the rest of life. Cool. All right. Let's keep reading a little bit so you understand what's going on here. All right. The WP in particular lowers the amount of earned Social Security benefits if the recipient also receives a public pension by a job uncovered by Social Security. Teachers who work in public schools but also have part-time jobs see their benefits lowered under this rule. The GPO, meanwhile, sees the spousal benefits for those who work as government employees reduced if the job is also uncovered by Social Security. That means their benefits can be reduced by 2/3 for surviving spouses who also collect a government pension. A woman stands outside a U.S. Social Security. Oh, okay, that's just the image thing. All right, quote. Those receiving Social Security benefits are at the forefront of many new bills and proposals, and with good reason. Alex Bean, a financial literacy instructor for the University of Tennessee Martin, said to Newsweek, there are plenty of potential revisions that could greatly assist individuals and families who could be receiving increased funding in a time when most of them desperately need it. Okay. The bill looks to reform WP and GPO, two features that reduce Social Security benefits for some state and federal employees in different jobs in various states. All right, so here's what you need to know about what's actually going on beyond and behind all this right here. The problem is that the government can't get people to work for it going forward. The problem is that the government needs more employees. The Social Security Administration is around 50,000, potentially below employees. They need 90,000. That's why you have these absolutely horrific wait times that just don't make sense anymore. They just don't make sense anymore. So the whole thing here is, what can the government pass to make sure the people working for the government don't go postal and start, screwing up the systems, doing improper things, scamming, Social Security recipients? What can they do to increase the likelihood that people will want to keep the jobs that they have in the government and future people will want to get these jobs? Well, it would take Congress to raise what the different employee levels would actually make. They're not going to do that. No, they're not. They're not going to do that. What they're going to instead do is kick that can down the road and say, Social Security Administration, you will take the full burden with your trust funds. And instead of us having this reduction in benefits because somebody's getting paid through some other program that they worked for that was uncovered, Social Security trust funds, we expect you to go ahead and cover these governmental employees. Is it an ethical bill? Yes. Is it a moral bill? Yes. Do we want people who work for the government to be properly compensated? Yes. Will it pass? Almost certainly. Will it hurt the Social Security trust funds? Absolutely, without question. Is this the way we should be going? It's up to you. You decide. But the bottom line is they are forcing this to a vote. Now, what is the game? There are very few Social Security benefit programs, options available that at the end of the day present a situation where, I don't know, basically, I guess the way I would say it is this, where basically, they'll likely pass. You will notice a significant amount of Democrats, usually the freshmen and then a few high-level ranking, seniors, will go ahead and present each year some new Social Security thing. They are all de facto, for the most part, advertising stunts. They are propaganda Social Security bills. The purpose of them is just to float ideas, to be able to say, look what I did. I created this bill. This bill will give you this. Love me for this. Vote me back into this chair in the future. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would they do that? Because after doing that year after year, people are going to catch on. They're going to get smart. They're going to get pissed at these politicians. Oh, but you would be wrong. You would be wrong. Because these politicians for decades have been promoting the same crap bills that have no potential of ever getting passed. However, this one does. About a year ago, I said this was going to be probably the first big bill passed by Biden's administration, buying through, the House and the Senate, etc. Daryl May, thank you for $5 donation. That's absolutely awesome. Very, very cool. Thank you. So, bottom line is this. I guess the main thing that you have to kind of keep in mind with this whole thing is that at the end of the day, this bill is likely to pass. It will not benefit the average Social Security recipient. It won't. It will likely benefit many government workers who are getting a reduced amount of the benefits that they're receiving from one program they paid into and the Social Security Administration program they paid into. Will this likely increase the amount of workers that will stay in their government jobs? Yes. Yes, it will. Will this likely increase for the amount of people who will then want to go work for the government in the future? Highly unlikely. The people that are going to go work for the government are not giving a shit about windfall provisions and future retirement benefits. They need cash now. Cash now. They need the money right now. So that's the reason why the bottom line is that this will keep in golden handcuffs, which means the benefits down the line are good, many employees that are with the government, but it's not going to do anything for getting future employees. What the government must do is increase the amount that government employees get paid going forward. Why? They're underpaid to begin with. That's number one. Number two, they're low. They don't have enough people. I mean, from the military to the SSA, they don't have enough people. And that's kind of the problem here. I don't know if you guys have noticed. This is something that's become a very, very prominent issue with this whole situation. I think you should be aware of it. The major thing is this. Americans no longer have an attachment like they used to the sanctity, the future greatness of America. They don't care. Americans don't care. Everything went so left so fast with politics that a lot of the people on the right became depressed. They didn't know how to deal with it emotionally. They became compacted. They became like, I don't know, it's not my America. So they don't feel like that investment into America is worthwhile. And their kids pick up on that. So their kids are not signing up for the military because it just all went super left, super fast. So as a result of that, and I think this is important to consider and keep in mind, the government is desperate to keep their current employees and get new employees. So is the SSA. The SSA, I keep getting reports from DDS that they have to add more days onto the wait period of adjudicating disability claims. Will this help the situation? Yes. Is it a small fix? Yes. Could the politicians under the Biden administration do a lot more by increasing the pay that goes to the current and future employees of the county, state, and federal government, depending on pay rates and what they can work out with the states and the county? Because remember, Fed is separate. They get their separate thing. If they could do that, they could fix this problem of not having enough employees going into the government. Will that fix our military situation? Absolutely not. People aren't signing up for the military because they don't believe in putting their life on the line like they used to on average. There used to be people who were born with the intent to serve and die in battle. That was the logic. That does not exist anymore in America for the most part. Very, very few people have that mentality. A lot of it's, deep backwater states, kind of, your tornado belt area, stuff like that. That mentality, unfortunately, doesn't exist like it used to. So what we're seeing is the government is scrambling to try and redefine the benefits that Americans will get working for it, because Americans no longer attribute, right, the real pro-American individuals, the real pro-SSA, pro-Fed government, the real pro-America kicking butt. Those individuals no longer see America as their own, because there's been a big political shift where, to be fair, RFK's thoughts used to be the very, very, very left. That was the leftist left you could go. RFK was super left. But to be fair, now with how things are, RFK's thoughts are middle left, but mostly middle independent, right? And then Trump is middle right, more on the right. And then, of course, way far off on the right side are a lot of the Republicans. But then way, way far down, as far as you can throw that ball, you have the left. The left is total cultural change and culture shock to traditional Americans, which is making the government really just in this stuck position with trying to find people to actually work for it. So bottom line, this will probably pass. It will probably be the only true major win that Biden's administration has seen for the Social Security Administration. That was like everybody got together, everybody supported it, everybody was for it. Do I think Harris will support this? Absolutely. Do I think Trump will support this? Absolutely. But bottom line is this: I think, and I see a comment here. Let's not drop all our frustration on Walter. Yeah, guys. Seriously. Another thing too. Another couple little quick details. When you call a law firm during the 9 to 5 and you call with an anonymous number, right? Some of you guys have anonymous numbers. You'll talk to me on like the live chat, or you'll talk to me via email at some point. And then you'll call with an anonymous number. You won't leave your name, or you will leave your name, and then you won't leave a reply phone number because it's anonymous. My staff can't call you back because you are anonymous. So you guys got to make sure that if you call with an anonymous number, that you leave a working phone number in the voicemail. Absolutely crucial. I know it shouldn't be whatever, but that's how it works. That's how this whole thing is. All right. With that said, keep in mind, I just did today where I worked with the homeless people. I did a little stuff. I'll catch up with all the private hours tomorrow who did their payments. I'll catch up with anybody else I need to catch up for the rest of the week. Keep in mind, Sweetie is going in for surgery on 2 spots of her body. They found cancerous nodules. So she's going to have those taken off on Friday. So basically, Friday through Sunday, I'm not going to be super available because my dog's going through the surgery and I've got to take care of her and do all that stuff. Monday, I'll be back in action, but obviously cancer surgery, that's major. With that said, we're going to be going to the next video shortly, which is very simply put, I think a really cool video. I think it's going to be good. It's about 3 lies that the disabled always tell. They always say these things. I'm going to go ahead and talk about them, whether or not they're something that has any truth to them, or if they're just total BS, and we have to basically recorrect the framing of that whole thing. All right. I will catch you guys shortly at the next video. Please remember to like. Please remember to subscribe. Head over to Google. Type in Disability Resolution Law Firm. Throw some stars up there if you enjoy these videos. If you enjoy me giving you the walkthrough as to what's going on in Congress, the rule changes, politics, what they're trying to do. If you enjoy it, cool. Also, I go live on Mondays and Thursdays now, which is where you can just call in and ask me questions. Also, if you want a private hour, there's a mini contract below. We put you on the hearing calendar. You get your own hour. I'll catch you soon at the next video, and you'll see it in the chat link below, so you can click it, go right to the next. I'll catch you later, and we'll go from there. Attorney Walter Hnot, have fun. I'll see you soon. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.